Welcome to my writing realm. My name is Tanya, and I'm a Canadian author and creator of Sable Book Night, an independent publishing company. If you'd like to learn more about me and Sable's publications, visit sablebooknight.ca, and Book Night shares the K. Episode 55, 2025 Lessons Learned and Accomplishments. One foot in front of the other, one day at a time. This is how I continue my journey. This is how I fly, like a dragon strong with a free spirit, despite the burdens that weigh heavily on my shoulders. A quote by me, Tanya Stephenson. 2025 has taught me a lot about myself, including personally, creatively, and professionally. Today I'm sharing what those lessons are and how they have changed my outlook on the new year to come, 2026. In addition, near the end of this episode, I'll share what my writing accomplishments were. Before I discuss writing and creativity, or my writing accomplishments in 2025, I'll touch briefly on what I've learned about myself personally. There are only 5 points, and I promise this won't take long. Number 1, my health. Over the course of the year, I was diagnosed with 2 additional conditions which have offered me an aspect of clarity about my symptoms and physical ability. From this, I've learned to be patient with this never-ending process of healing. Number 2, when my house is disorganized or cluttered, I cannot focus, which greatly impacts any form of creativity. This includes reading, writing, puzzles, painting, or other creative practices. If I take the time to work on our life at home first, it gives me breathing room and clarity of mind. Number 3, before I can allow myself any time to work on goals or wants, I must first focus on my family relationships. Otherwise, it adds to the sensation of feeling overwhelmed by the emotion of guilt. When I don't make a point of spending time with the ones that I love before I prioritize my personal needs and wants, I am filled with guilt. Number 4, overstimulation. This is something that hovers over me like a lead blanket, impacting every day of my life. Finding a balance is extremely important to living any quality of life. This is my one and only New Year's resolution. Number 5, I am afraid for the potential day when my doctors could tell me that I'm cleared to return to work. I'm afraid that when I go off of disability and push myself to work full-time, I'll end up right back where I started, unable to process thoughts, make even the easiest of decisions, drive a car, or write. After more than a year of being off work, I've learned so much about my medical conditions and capabilities and restrictions, and I've worked so hard to improve my overall health that I am terrified to lose it all. Moving on to lessons learned about being creative, mainly in writing. Number 1, including an aspect of romance or intimacy in everything I write helps me enjoy the process more. This leads me to consider my future publications as romantasy rather than high fantasy. In other words, I really enjoy writing high fantasy romance more than other genres. Some of them might even be a little steamy. Number 2, if I have most of my dragons in a row in life, or have a sense of control in most situations, it frees me to be productive when I sit down to write. Any unfinished business needs to be finished before I can return to writing. Number 3, renovating our spare room into an official writing office has filled me with a newfound motivation to accomplish my writing goals. I never realized how important it was to me to have a dedicated writing space. The ability to close the door and shut out things that may overstimulate me really helps. Number 4, While reading, if I don't feel a sense of emotional connection to the characters, I do not enjoy myself. I experienced this sensation while reading a Reacher novel and while attempting once again to read the Game of Thrones Book 1. It has taken me years to attempt this. Both authors may be very talented and good at what they do, but their books are just not for me. Of course, I really enjoyed watching both series on TV. I'm not entirely sure why this makes such a difference. Number 5. To keep myself reading, I need to switch things up and read a palate cleanser, so to speak, between my usual genres. Otherwise, reading itself begins to feel monotonous, which makes me cut back on my reading time. For example, I could read The Priory of the Orange Tree, which is a high fantasy romance, and then follow it up with a Percy Jackson book, which is an entertaining, lighter reading fantasy with a hint of comedy and adventure. After that, I may fit in something completely different than those two, like a book that was independently published in a genre I don't usually select. Now, professionally, this is mostly about my YouTube channel and running Sable Book Night. Number 1. Live streams are the most mentally and neurologically exhausting process, and they cause me major crashes medically, leaving me completely burnt out for multiple days following the live stream. Therefore, I must limit them or avoid them entirely. Number 2. The way I record and edit videos has also been draining me as I find it overstimulating. It's mostly about how I set up the lighting and how the software that I'm using causes me to look back and forth across the screen, creating the early symptoms of seizure activity. This is a process I need to modify somehow so that I don't reach the point where I'm not capable of creating videos at all, which has often been an obstacle in growing my YouTube channel. Number 3. I am capable of organizing and publishing an anthology, as well as mentoring new writers who have never published before. Number 4. I enjoy beta reading and editing other writers' stories and helping them overall. When I initially began planning an anthology, my focus was on how can I make money with Sable Book Night. That thought process was based on a fear that my medical condition may one day lead me to not being capable of holding a full-time job, and the necessity of finding ways to make an income to help support my family. However, here I am, not currently capable of working full-time, and my thought process has completely changed. I care about other writers. I want them to be successful. Publishing an anthology is not a gimmick or a way of making money for myself or my family. Instead, it is a way for me to help other writers find more readers and hopefully make a few bucks themselves. Writers deserve to be reimbursed for their hard work and creativity. I can help them achieve this, even if it's only in a small way. I can be a part of their journey. This lesson has increased my motivation when it comes to the business of publishing. Number 5. Although I didn't think it was possible, for as long as I'm not capable of working a full-time job, I am capable of carving out small windows of time to write, in addition to putting together an anthology. It all boils down to time management and paying close attention to how I'm feeling medically and mentally. Now on to accomplishments in 2025. Number 1. I started writing again after taking a long break to deal with family emergencies and focus on my medical conditions. Number 2. I finally revised and published a short story that I wrote many years ago called 300 Man. Number 3. I got back to recording YouTube videos and the occasional podcast episode. Number 4. As mentioned, I renovated our spare room in the basement and turned it into my very first writing office. Number 5. Successfully organized Sable Book Night's first ever anthology, which will be published within the first half of 2026. Reading these out loud makes me realize that I accomplished more in the last few months of 2025 than I had in 2024 as a whole. There are a lot of contributing factors to the outcomes of both years, but I can say that despite everything I've been through, I am proud of myself for fighting to find a way forward. Giving up is never an option. One foot in front of the other, one day at a time. This is how I continue my journey. This is how I fly, like a dragon, strong with a free spirit, despite the burdens that weigh heavily on my shoulders. Are there any special lessons you've learned or special accomplishments from 2025 that you'd like to share? If you are interested in sharing it with me, please email me at taniaswritingrealm@gmail.com and let me know if you'd like me to share your lessons on my next episode. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, night, or whatever, and keep on writing.